Okay, now we are looking at important properties of proportions. And the reason why we are looking at these important properties of proportions is because of when we're solving questions in proportions, you will come across certain questions that you will need to apply some of these properties. Now, these are not all the properties in proportion, but these are the major ones you could come across whenever you're solving questions in proportion. So now let's look at the very first property there, which is the additive property. And the additive property says that if you have two ratios in which A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then A plus C will be equal to what? B plus D. So A ratio B is equal to C ratio D can be resolved to get A plus C, which is equal to what? B plus D. So let's take note of that. Now let's go to the second property, which is the subtractive property. And the subtractive property says if you have two ratios in which A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then you can convert it such that A minus C will be equal to B minus D, or A minus C, or we can say A minus C ratio B minus D. The same thing applies to this one. A plus C is ratio to what? B plus D. So please just take note of that. Now let's go to the next one, which is the divisive property. And the divisive property says that if you have two ratios in which A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then you can have something that looks like this, and that is A minus B ratio B is equal to C minus D ratio D, which can give you something like this, which is A minus B all over B, which is equal to what? C minus D all over D. So if you have two ratios in which A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then you can have an expression like this. From this, you can get something like this, which is A minus B ratio B is equal to what? C minus D ratio D, which gives you A minus B all over B is equal to C minus D all over D. Remember, these are just terms, numbers, and quantities. So whatever you are given, you can now what? Fix them into these what? Expressions. Now let's go to the next one, which is the alternate property. The alternate property says that if you have two expressions which are A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then you can have another expression. You can derive another expression from this, which will now give you something like this. A all over C is equal to what? B all over D. A all over C is equal to what? B all over D. But how does this get to this point? Of course, you know that this ratio can be expressed as this. A over B in fraction, which will give you what? C over what? D. So you can see now, these ones can be interchanged. It can be interchanged. We call it cross multiplication in mathematics. So this can come here, and this can go here, and this can come here, and this can go there. So you can see here that in this case, the C came and rest here, while the B went up here. So it's interchangeable. It can be alternated depending on what you want it to do. So that is how we apply the alternate rule, or the alternate properties of proportion. So let's look at the last one here, which is the inverted property of proportions. It says if you have two ratios in which A ratio B is equal to what? C ratio D, then you can resolve it or have an expression from it that says B ratio A is equal to D ratio C. So you can interchange this. You can invert them. And of course, from this, you can have something like A over B is equal to C all over D. You can remember that this one is first, while this is second, then in this one, this is first, this is second. But you can now interchange it and make this one first, this one second, make this one also first, this one second. That's what we got here. And at the end of the day, when you now express them in a fraction, they now look like this. Okay, so depending on the questions you're given, it will determine which of the properties you may apply when solving questions in proportions. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I post my next videos.